Hello everybody, welcome to this week's update video. My name is Martin and I'm an Inkscape developer and I develop features and fixes for everyday Inkscape users. Welcome to these update videos where I talk about some of the work that I've been doing on Inkscape, and it's with the sponsorship and the help of all of the people that join me on Patreon and LibrePay, who help basically pay for my time to work on Inkscape. For the past year and a half, possibly even 2 years now, I've been working on CMYK support in Inkscape. And one of the reasons why I haven't done a video in a couple of weeks, which you have my apologies, is because this is a very intricate part of the process. I'm basically rewriting Inkscape's rendering engine so it can support CMYK. And there's a lot of different parts of the Inkscape engine that need to be, if not entirely rewritten, then definitely re-engineered so that they support multiple channels. And I'm also moving from using 8-bit integers to using floating point. And so there's a lot of just engineering that needs to happen, and a lot of interdependent parts that seemingly all have to be rewritten at the same time in order for them to make sense together. So what have I been up to in the past couple of weeks? I've done a color merge request, which is a refactoring of the color API that I did in previous months. This is basically moving it towards supporting more of the Cairo back end that we're going to be using, some more color translation support. We have a bunch of fixes in there as well, which is great to see. At this point, actually, I do want to shout out Tav, who has been helping make the color API that I wrote more compliant with the World Wide Web Consortium CSS standard, color module 4. There was a couple of things in both the way Inkscape's color space support and also the string parsing that I'd written, which were slightly wrong, and so he fixed those, which was great. So yeah, the color API stuff has been split off and that has been merged. It's waiting to be merged. Right now, there's a macOS thing that needs to be fixed. We need later versions of Little CMS, the color management library, to be available on macOS. The next part is the actual filters and the memory access to the image surfaces themselves. I have an entire branch which is quite a lot of work, which basically involves accessing the drawing surfaces directly, and I have to rewrite each of the filter primitives that are available in Inkscape. And I know a lot of users probably don't even use filters, but it's important that if you're going to have a rendering engine that supports CMYK, you really should support CMYK in all of the ways in which the filters, in every way that the SVG can render things. So for example, for filters, there are things like component transfer and morphologies and edge detection and all this other kind of stuff, which might not make sense for CMYK. But I would be interested to see the results. It might not make sense for HSL or any of the other color spaces, which I'm going to allow you to interpolate in. But I do know, for instance, that when it comes to doing drop shadows and doing blurs and things like that, if your blur turns your 100% black object into a cyan, magenta and yellow object because it has to go through RGB first, you're not going to be very happy with that. Even if the color representation is okay in the end, you still need to have proper color separation in order to do this correctly. So basically the engine has to be able to support like a variable number of channels. It has to be able to support floating point because that's where I'm moving to. We want a more standardized and streamlined code base. So a lot of this is technical backend stuff, but I think it's important for you to understand that a lot of the work that I'm doing is also based on unit testing. So everything that I'm writing is the idea of componentizing and quantizing exactly what it is that this particular piece of functionality needs to do and testing that specifically. And the reason why you would do it that way is so that in the future, if we need to change the algorithm, make it faster, do some other things, change to GPU rendering or whatever, we actually have test cases now that can make sure that it's doing the same things that it did before, right? Instead of relying on user testers or full pipeline tests where you run an SVG file through Inkscape and see if it renders the same, it's much faster and much easier to just compile a particular unit and test that specifically. So that's a lot of the work, is improving the robustness of the code base and the engine itself, as well as the capabilities. I have done almost all of the filters now. There's just one left, which is blur. I think I'll be able to finish that this week. I have a fairly good track record. Once I got ahead of Steam, I actually got through quite a few of them. There's so many, you guys. Like, there's so many filter primitives, you wouldn't believe it. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Let's talk about some of the other things that have been going on in Inkscape, because there's actually been quite a lot of stuff going on since the last update video. The PLC voted to hire a contractor to upgrade the website to Django 5. We actually needed an entirely new computer, which the Oregon State University kindly provided us with a new updated machine, which then has the new website running on it. There was a couple of speed bumps which happened, literally speed bumps. We still have to continue to block most of the AI bots and other scanning things because they crush the machine too easily. But Ben has done a really good job at upgrading the website, so that should be all available. I do actually have some plans for the website to be able to improve the way that we're taking in money. We're hoping to add Stripe support and do, just a better way of getting users involved in the project and contributing to Inkscape's success. Right? We'd love to be able to just hire a whole bunch of developers to work on Inkscape full time, and in order to do that, you need the resources. But I also think you kind of need a way of getting users involved, and for that, you need infrastructure that can, essentially make that easier to do. So there's a whole plan in place. I want to give a shout out to Portal17, who has organized the FOSS India Inkscape booth. Nice work, guys. I saw the photos. It's great to see contributors from Inkscape from around the world being able to meet up and being able to run events and be able to teach and show Inkscape to new audiences. It's great stuff. I want to give a shout out to all of the Google Summer of Code students. All of that stuff is wrapped up now. We're probably going to integrate that into 1.5. There may be some things that need to be smoothed out. I also want to give a shout out to a lot of the new contributors who have been fixing bugs. Usually when a new contributor comes into Inkscape, the first thing that they want to do is they want to develop features, because those are exciting and interesting. But these guys have been just hammering away at like really specific issues, PDF issues, crashes, a bunch of things, and it is so wonderful to see, because I feel like I'm not spending enough time on like normal Inkscape stuff because I'm so busy with the CMYK and the engine reworking. But yeah, so thank you to everybody who continues to work on Inkscape as well. And yeah, so that's about it. If you want to hear more about what's been going on in Inkscape, or you have specific questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching this update video, and I hope to be able to give you some more updates soon.